This is Support is Sexy, episode 418. Support is sexy, but make sure you have someone in your corner who will tell you, I can't support that. Welcome to Support is Sexy. I'm your host, Elayne Fluker, entrepreneur, author, and founder of Chic Rebellion Media. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I bring you inspiring women entrepreneurs who share their wins and lessons to help you take your business to the next level. Here we go. Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Support is Sexy. I'm excited to have you here. You know, it just would not be the same without you. And if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you may know some of this background, but I'm going to share a little bit just for anyone who's not listening. If you already know it, just nod and say, that's true. I remember her saying that. If not, here's a little background for you. So I relocated from New York in Brooklyn to Georgia in Stone Mountain, not in Atlanta, in Stone Mountain, Georgia, to be closer to family. I'm here closer to my parents who are elderly. Thank God they're healthy. But I also have another family member here who has Alzheimer's. So I came down to be closer to them and to help out as much as I can with this other person. It's been great to be closer, but I've also been very honest and open about, at least I think, as much as I can be, or I feel comfortable being without bursting into tears. It has been a lot. It's a big change, moving from a city where you can get around and go wherever you want at any minute, at any time of night, be able to move about easily, to a city or a suburb, actually. That's a little different. And then the pressure of being with family, going through these changes, dealing with a medical condition and all the things that come with that. Now, one of the things that I mentioned recently in the past 2 months, I guess it's been now, that has really been helpful for me, that has really changed the game for me in my personal life and in my business is hiring a coach. So if you're going through something, or even if you're not going through something, say things are going great and you've hit a plateau, I suggest getting a coach, someone that you trust, maybe someone who is referred to you. That's how I found my coach, Margot, here in Atlanta. She is fantastic. I was referred to her by another friend, Jill, who has been seeing her for years. She's wonderful, has a background as a counselor and as a business coach, and she's been an entrepreneur for many years. So it's well aligned. So for you, I suggest getting a coach, a therapist, someone that you can talk to that can help you push through and help you maybe recognize things in yourself that you're not aware of. Maybe there are some roadblocks there, all of those things that coaches, therapists can do. And that is why it has been so great for me, a game changer, again, in my life and in my business. That's the background. Now, recently I went to see Margot and I was sharing with her that because I'm going on this trip, a little bit more background, I'm going on this trip for a year called Remote Year. I've talked about it in previous episodes. Super excited about it. It's a year-long trip around the world with other entrepreneurs and professionals. You go to a new city around the world every month. You live in that city for a month and then move on to the next one. 12 cities around the world in 12 months. I know, I'm already claiming it. It's going to be incredible. And during that time, I am going to interview women entrepreneurs in those countries on the Support is Sexy podcast. I have a vision for what I think that's going to look like or feel like, but I'm completely open, and what it's going to sound like, right? It's going to be on the podcast, what I want it to sound like, but I'm completely open and excited about the experience. But since I'm leaving for that trip July 1st, and this is February when you're listening to this, if you're listening in real time, I was thinking, okay, instead of me looking for a new place in Georgia as I planned, I wanted to move out and get a place in 2018, find my way around. I'm still learning my way around, but I figured, you know what? Got to stop stalling. I'm staying with family right now. Got to get my own space. I'll do that in 2018. But as I shared with Margot, and I've been thinking of this for several weeks now, since I'm leaving in July, I'll just stay where I am, even though it can be a lot of stress. You know, it's hard when you're staying with family. There are a lot of needs there, and you can't separate from that, just from the sense of distance even. You're in the space, they're in the space. If things are needed, you're there. They're going to ask you, which you love to do it, but sometimes it can be a lot doing that and trying to build a business, as you can imagine. It is what it is, not a complaint, just a reality. But the stress can be a lot when there's no way of disconnecting, if you will. But I shared with Margot, hey, I think I'm just going to stay where I am for now, even though we've talked about the stressors that are there. I can deal with it for the next few months until I go away. Then I'll come back, get a place, etc. Here's the kicker. She looked me in my eye and she said, I cannot support that. Talk about a game changer. She went on about why she could not support that idea, but most important, gave other suggestions. How about we try this? How about you get a short-term place? How about this? How about that? So we went over several ideas, which I won't bore you with, but I'm super excited about. Ideas I never would have thought of, which is another reason why you should bring a trusted source or a coach or a therapist, whatever you need from the outside to help you sort through things, a friend even, to help you sort through things. But most important, what I want you to catch is having someone in your corner who can support you in the moments you need someone to say, I cannot support that. And I mentioned this too. It didn't even resonate with me in this way at the time. It wasn't until I shared this in my group chat with my girlfriends, my closest friends. You know, I love them. I talk about them all the time. My girls from college at Hampton University. We have this group chat. We share just everything. And I was telling them about this experience, what Margot said to me, how it just sort of stopped me in my tracks and was really what I needed. And another friend shared an experience with someone that she's seeing and how the person said something similar. I cannot support that. This is a thing that you always do. This is what you need to be aware of. How about we try this? I have to tell you, having that person in your corner, on your team, if you will, who will stop and say, I cannot support that. And this is the reason I cannot support that. So it's not just the same as someone being negative or saying that you can't do something or this is why something isn't going to work, right? If I need to make that distinction for you, I'm making that here. That's not the same thing. We're not talking about someone who is not supportive. This is someone who you know is supportive, someone who is not coming from a place of fear, right? You're aware that they're coming from a place of love and support for you, but they're saying what you're saying, I cannot support that. And here's why that thing is either dangerous to you or here's why that thing doesn't serve you, which is Margot's point. This idea that I had of staying in a situation that still makes me uncomfortable just because it's only a few more months. Well, still, you're basically volunteering to be in a space that you don't have to be in. It's one thing if you have to be in a space, which you really don't have to be. There's always a way to figure it out, right? But maybe for whatever reason, say you are in the position you're in and you have to stay there right now. Well, that's different. But when you choose to constantly put yourself last, it's a problem. And you need someone on your team who says, you're doing that thing again. I can't support that. Let's not do that. How about this? So I'm dropping in to your earbuds with a little reminder. Don't put yourself last. And make sure, because we all do it, they're blind spots, things we don't know, we might not be aware of, or it's just habit. We might not even, again, be conscious that we're doing it. You need someone on your team who says, I cannot support that. Someone who, as I say, snatches your edges a little bit and lets you know, no, you're doing that thing again. I'm going to need you to stop and take care of yourself. So have someone on your team who in those moments when you might forget about self-care, or you might not even know that you're putting your own care last or your own mental wellness last or your health even last, someone is there to say, I am not going to support that. How about we try this instead? Here are some ideas for things that could better support you and that will help you better support yourself. All right, so hopefully that all made sense. Thank you for listening to my story. You know, once in a while I share these personal things, hopefully as a lesson or inspiration or something that will resonate with you. So hopefully that helped. Have that person in your corner who is not afraid to tell you, I cannot support that, and who comes from a place of love and wanting the best for you. All right, so thanks so much for listening. I look forward to chatting with you again soon. And until then, always remember, you deserve support. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care.